Hello again, I'm back with another video and still working on my Jumper T Pro. In the past I upgraded one of the pot wheels into a latching or locking switch, a 2-position switch, which is great for arming. I've also shortened the sticks so it's a bit more comfortable when flying joystick style, and also just recently I upgraded the 4-in-1 internal module with an internal ELRS module, the 1-watt version. So next is replacing the case, and I found this on, I think it was AliExpress, and I thought I'd give it a try. One thing to note, this particular design has the 2 pot wheels, whereas mine now has only one since the upgrade. So I am not going to be able to use the back side of this, but we can still put on the front side, and I think the dual tone might look kind of cool. Okay, so let's get started. As always, batteries out first. Okay, and next 10 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on both sides. Okay, so first step, disconnecting all the cables. Okay, and don't forget to disconnect the antenna as well. Alright, so I think we can put the back plate away for now. Alright, let's put this on a stand and see what we're doing here. So I think the only obstacles will be that we need to get the sticks out before we get the main board, and before we get the sticks out we need to get these top buttons out, and before we can get the speaker out we need to get the menu buttons as well. So let's start from the top. Okay, so I think, yep, that should just pop out and get those out of the way. Beautiful. Next, so we'll get those sticks out. Now I can see that the sticks have 3 screws, and the top left and the top right don't have any screws. It's a good thing to keep in mind later. Okay, so next, I think these should just come straight out. Yep, perfect. So that's ready to go. I'll just leave them there for now. Next I might take out, before I take the main board out, I might just take out the menu wheel and the menu buttons. Okay, so we have that out. Now we can pull the buttons out, and that will give us access to the speaker. And you'll note, actually I think you'll probably find that there are 3 different types of screws, so keep track. Most of them are a little bit longer, but the stick screws are a little bit shorter. And then you've got the speaker screws, which are different altogether because they've got the extra bit hanging over to hold it in place. So keep track of your screws, otherwise you may ruin the thread. Okay, so that's everything except the main board and of course the antenna as well. So let's get, I think if we want better access, we probably want to take the main board out first. Okay, so the main board is unscrewed and hopefully it will just come out. I should have probably taken my SD card out, but never mind, it didn't really cause too much trouble. So I'm going to just move that aside for a second so I can check what I've got left. So we need to take those antenna off. And just be very careful to slide it out. So the antenna's out. And we've got the light button that we need to take care of, so don't lose that, plus the 4 buttons across the top. So we'll put that aside for now. And finally, we want to get, what is it called? This ring off anyway. Okay, so the last thing we've got is the top buttons. So we're going to have to just unclick them, and I think they should just come straight out. Very easy. So as you can see, you just need to unlatch it and it falls straight out. And now we have an empty front case and we can start working on the replacement one. Okay, so let's start with the easy parts first. Let's put this one in. I think going in end first probably is the easiest. Perfect. Next. Now there's a position here so that it fits quite nicely. And then let's put in that antenna. There's a square hole for the antenna because the screws will go in the other one. Nope, I think I got it the wrong way around, so let me try that again. And there we go. So I think the antenna was on the left side, not on the right side, so I just switched it over. I would say this because the logo should be on the front, I believe, if that's correct. Okay, moving on. So let's go backwards. First of all, the buttons, I guess. Oh no, actually those buttons will go in later. But we've got the top buttons, and we've got the little power light. Next, let's move the whole board over. Let's start. Just position this again so we've got a bit more room. Now, when positioning this, I think you need to be really careful that the antenna goes over the board, otherwise you may damage it. And one part at a time, starting with the wheel at the bottom. Next, well, maybe I should secure the motherboard first. So I'll just put this in place to get things out of the way. So let's do that motherboard next. So motherboard, nice. Next, let's put the speaker in. So remember, these were the unique screws that would lock it into place. Wow, let's use magic. That's better. Next, let's put in the buttons. So the buttons themselves have already been put in place. So now let's put the switches in. Okay. So let's get those sticks in now. All right, left and right. Nice. So don't forget that the sticks have smaller screws, and I think the main board has smaller screws as well. All right, so last one to go. I've got the buttons here. So I think that locks into place in here while we screw it up on the other side. Okay. And two more. So let's get that back part back on. Second most tedious part is getting these cables back in. Always be careful about the antenna cable. And last but not least, let's reconnect the antenna. And before we close up, check all the holes that you're going to be screwing into and make sure that no cables are getting in the way, otherwise you can pinch those cables and damage them. And I think we're good. So let's go ahead and put this back on. Something's popping, so let me just double check those cables again. All right. And the last thing, 10 screws. Nice. And so for the big reveal, yeah, I really like that. I like the color against the grey, and even the two-tone doesn't look too bad at all. And let's just quickly test to make sure everything still works. That's fine. Let's go to the ELRS menu to see if that still runs. Looking good. So yeah, it wasn't the hardest project I've done. It's only taken about 30 minutes or so, and really the hardest part was just keeping track of the screws to make sure you use the right ones. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, and I hope this was useful to you. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.